What is sin? Most people think sin is just breaking rules. Don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat. But the Bible says sin is something deeper than that. Sin isn't just about what we do, it's about what's happening in our hearts. And once you understand this, the whole Bible starts to make more sense.
In the Bible, the word sin originally meant something very simple. It meant to miss the mark. Think about an archer shooting an arrow at a target. The goal is to hit the center. But if the arrow lands somewhere else, even if it's close, the archer missed the mark. That's what sin means. God made us for a purpose, to live in truth, to love what is good, to love God. But when we turn away from that, we miss the mark. Let's think about a simple example. Take lying. Most lies don't start when the words come out of our mouths. They start earlier. Maybe we made a mistake. Maybe we broke something. Maybe we're afraid of getting in trouble. So instead of telling the truth, we start thinking of a way out. We tell ourselves a small lie will make things easier. And eventually, the lie comes out. But the real problem didn't begin when we spoke. It began in the heart. In that moment when we chose protecting ourselves over telling the truth. This is why sin is deeper than just actions. It begins inside us. Most people think sin only means doing bad things, but Jesus explains something surprising. Sin actually starts inside us. For example, murder is wrong, but Jesus said anger and hatred can also be part of the same problem. Stealing is wrong, but greed and jealousy come from the same place. Sin begins in the heart before it shows up in our actions. That means sin isn't just about breaking rules. It's about our hearts drifting away from what is good. The Bible says humans were created in the image of God. That means we were made to reflect things like love, truth, justice, kindness. In the beginning, the world was good. Humans lived in harmony with God. But something changed. In the story of Adam and Eve, humanity chose their own way instead of God's way. Since then, every human has struggled with the same problem. We want to be our own authority. We want to decide for ourselves what is right and wrong. And that is the root of sin. Some people hear the word sin and think it's just about religion. But if we look honestly at the world, we can see the effects of sin everywhere. Lying, violence, pride, selfishness, these things break relationships. They damage families. They hurt people, and they separate us from God. The Bible says sin spreads through the world like a disease of the heart, not just in some people, but in all of us. The Bible doesn't just explain the problem, it also gives the solution. The message of Christianity is that God didn't abandon humanity. Instead, God entered the world in the person of Jesus. Jesus lived the life humans were meant to live, a life without sin. Then he took the consequences of sin upon himself on the cross. Through him, forgiveness is offered, not because we are perfect, but because God is merciful.
Today, many people don't like the word sin. It sounds old. It sounds harsh. So instead, we use different words. We might say, I made a mistake, or I'm only human, or that's just who I am. Sometimes those things are true. But sometimes we say them because we don't want to face the real problem. It's easier to change the word than it is to change our hearts. But the Bible doesn't talk about sin to shame people. It talks about sin so we can be honest. Imagine going to a doctor because something feels wrong. If the doctor pretends nothing is wrong, that might feel better for a moment. But it doesn't fix the problem. A good doctor tells the truth, not to hurt you, but to help you heal. The Bible talks about sin in the same way. It tells the truth about the human heart, not to condemn us, but to show us the way back to God.
So what is sin? Sin is not just breaking rules. Sin is missing the mark of what we were created to be. It's the human heart turning away from God. But the story of the Bible doesn't end with sin. It ends with redemption. God restoring what was broken and inviting people back to Him.